Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever modded showcase about a mod that I have been really playing recently with Minecraft and I've been enjoying quite a bit and I wanted to pretty much talk about it. And that mod being called Saints Dragons. Now this mod has been definitely growing a bit more in popularity recently and I am definitely happy for it. But I wanted to make a mod showcase and show what experiences I have playing with the mod and pretty much what to do since, well, if you're interested in this mod and you want to know a little guide, this is it here for it. So, before we talk about the cool thing about Saints Dragons, what is Saints Dragons? Well, judging by the title, you can already assume this is a dragon mod. This mod adds up to 5 new dragons that you can go out and tame, some easier than others. So yeah, we'll go through all that, but before we go through how you tame these dragons, let's talk about some items. Alright, so the first item you can see right here we have is called the Draconic Codex, and this is probably the most important item you could make for this mod. And as you can see, it's quite simple to make, just 4 pieces of gold and a book frame to craft. So what does this do? So when you right click it, this is how you can determine things about your dragons. So, as currently I don't have any tamed dragons out, but if I did, I would be able to check the dragon whether or not if they are hungry or if they are happy, which are 2 very important things you have to keep track of, and you won't be able to know what your dragon's happiness or hunger is at unless you use the Draconic Codex. So, definitely a very important item. Now you may be wondering, well, feeding sounds simple, how do I keep my dragon happy? You get a dragon brush, which is quite simple, just 3 pieces of feathers, 1 stick, and iron ingot. And whenever your dragon is low on happiness, you just right click and brush it. And that's how you bring up his happiness. Now you can also bring it up by feeding it, but you may not always have a huge supply of fish since that is the only main thing you can feed your dragon is, so it's definitely easier to just have one of these things around. And if you don't like the iron brush, well, here's a golden brush, which is a better version of that brush, and like I said, it brings your dragon's happiness up. So that is that. Now over here we have the 5 dragons that you can tame, or find. So some of these eggs you will be able to find without having to do the dragon taming method. So what we have to do is, in order to find these eggs, they have different loots of where they can be found. Now, I believe the only dragon you can't find an egg in the wild, at least I haven't encountered yet, is the Stegonaut. In order to get this thing's egg, you have to breed wild Stegonauts together, and then they'll lay an egg. And that can be the same for all the other dragons, while all the other dragon eggs you can find around the world. Both the Cindervane and the Nulljaw egg you can find laying in their respective biomes, mostly mountain biomes for the Cindervane, and you can find the Nulljaw egg in some beaches. The Raevyx egg is one of the loot chest eggs, where you can only find it through shipwrecks, villager outposts, and there's another thing that I'm forgetting, but those are the main 3 that you can find Raevyx egg. And this guy, which I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce his name right, the Ingivorus, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name right, I'll be honest. This guy's egg can only be found in the toughest areas in Minecraft. You can only find it throughout Nether Fortress, bastions, or ancient cities. Which makes sense since this guy is the strongest dragon currently in the mod. This mod also adds a new villager. This is Ivy. You can find her pretty much throughout any village. Pretty much she should spawn, and sometimes there'll be more than one of her. And what does she trade? Well, she trades dragon eggs. And also this item right here, which we'll quickly take a look in a second. So these are how you can get some pretty good items for these eggs. So if you feel like you don't want to hatch an egg, or you have like a lot of a specific dragon, you can easily farm up some pretty good gear. I mean, this is a pretty good gear, I would say so myself, especially for this netherite chest piece. So definitely, if you find a village, keep that in mind that she might be around, and if you just have some leftover eggs, you can sell them to her. One thing I forgot to talk about the eggs is how you can actually pick them up. So whenever your dragon does breed, or if you find eggs in the wild, they'll look like this. Now the thing is, you cannot harvest these things without using Silk Touch pickaxe. So see if I mine it, boom, it disappears. So you do need a Silk Touch item to be able to harvest the egg. If not, it'll just immediately break. I did try to do some other tricks, like maybe try to use a piston and whatnot. That did not seem to work, but as of now, it seems like the only way to get these eggs is a Silk Touch item, so be sure you have one of those. The last item before we go on and actually start taming dragons is the Hardy Dragon Meal, which is a very important taming item, which you can just use regular fish, either salmon or cod, to try to tame the dragons, but if you make the meal, it will actually increase your taming percentage at the end. So it's just 5 eggs, 2 cod right there, and 2 salmon right there. It has to be that order. So, and also you get about 6 of these per crafting recipe. But what I would personally do is I would try to trade with Ivy right here, because you'll need 4 eggs and 4 salmon, and you can get yourself that meal with ease. It's a little bit cheaper, so I would recommend do that. If not, just do this method. But yeah, let's actually get ready and start taming these things. Now you may be wondering, why do I need to have some netherite armor and stuff? Well, some of these dragons, their taming methods are a little bit difficult, so we're going to go ahead and do that right here. So let's gear up, and then I'll show you the first dragon we will be taming. Alright, so the first dragon we will be trying to tame is the Stegonaut. Now this is I would say the early beginner dragon you can just easily tame. This is tied with the other dragon, the Cindervane, where you can just simply feed it to tame it, and they are good beginner dragons for sure. So this right here is the Stegonaut. It's kind of like Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus kind of like build, you could say. And this guy, I really do love his design. Big guy. So how do you tame him? Well, these guys are just a simple passive feed. So if you can either use salmon, or I'm going to use the Hardy Dragon Meal in this case, and boom. I believe they only take 1 fish or whatever to tame. At least that's how I have been able to do with these guys. And yeah, these guys are not really good fighters. That's the thing. You do not want to use these guys for fighting. You can already tell on the top right-hand corner of my screen that this guy's already giving me some pretty good buffs. Giving me absorption and resistance. And that will affect pretty much any other tame. So let's go ahead and tame a wolf real quick. And this wolf should also be getting this buff. So you can technically have big armies or whatever, and have this guy in the background as a support, and the wolf should also be getting this effect, if I believe. So let's go back into survival here. Hey there, puppy. Yep, as you see with the little Jade mod that I have, the wolf is also receiving this buff, so definitely already a pretty good supporting creature. Now, all the dragons are rideable, so I shift right click. And I would recommend most of these you just go F5 mode, because it's just a little bit easier to maneuver, and pretty good fun strafe movement. So what can this guy do besides pretty much be a support creature with that? Well, he does have a crazy amount of abilities. So when you punch, he does a bite, which doesn't deal a lot of damage. Not really. I don't even know how much damage it does, but it's not a lot. Let's see. We can look at these horses real quick. I wish they had a... Okay. Yeah, 2.5 hearts, so 5 damage. Not the most damage. Now we can press X to switch to a second melee, which when we use it, does a lot more damage. I'm sorry, buddy. So, definitely a lot more of a heavy AoE and does apply a little bit of a knockback. So definitely, if you're trying to fight things, use the knockback. Alright, and he does have a growl, or a roar, right here, so you can just press it. But if you actually hold this, this is how you actually activate his second thing. So we're going to use another horse. I'm so sorry for these horses. So whenever we hold G, which is this ability, then we aim and let go, he'll spit out a rock, pretty much. He'll pick up dirt or whatever from the ground, and then he'll fire. Now, it's a little bit clunky to use this, or not clunky, but a little bit harder to aim. It's kind of like how a bow works, but I feel like you gotta aim a little bit further than it. Yeah. So, pretty nice and stuff. And the nice other thing that this creature can do is, well, we gotta go back to creative. I should probably have grabbed everything, but sometimes I don't use my good old noggin, as they say. Is that this guy is also a chest that you can put on. So, whenever we are riding on this guy, we press E, we can open the Stegonaut's inventory, which isn't the best amount of slots for a chest, I would say, but definitely very useful if you throw all this stuff here. And I believe this guy can actually pick up items, if I'm right. I remember I was able to get some, so we're gonna pick that up. Did he pick it up? No. Maybe I was wrong and I thought he picked up stuff, but I don't know, I guess I was wrong about that. Now, one thing we also will mention, which will come handy later on, is that, oh, I didn't grab that either. Look at me being very bad at this showcase. Hey, it's my first one. Don't give me too much hate. But, pretty much, whenever your guy is, you know, is unhappy and stuff, and we do a little bit of a brushing. Okay, so he's not, well, I guess it's a perfect time to show what the Draconic Codex looks like. So as you can see, I can see the health, hunger, happiness, armor, gender, and variant of this guy. And also let you know where its current location and where the biome is at. This also shows you some lore if you want to read it. Information of the egg, the biome, and what this thing will eat. And also these are its drops. Now, that does not mean if this guy dies, he will drop those items. What it does mean is that when he is unhappy, you need to brush him, that's what happens. So, I'm sorry, bud, we're going to have to punch you a little bit. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy, I'm sorry. Now, because I did that, you're going to see his happiness went down. So, first of all, let's change it today. Okay, thank you. And whenever we right-click on this guy, as he we're using durability now, and we are brushing him. And we have collected both Stegonaut scales and amethyst shards. So a new way to get some amethyst, which is really nice. And the Stegonaut scales will come in handy later whenever I explain it. Now, one last thing about this guy is that with the Draconic Codex, you can set people to allies. Now, if you are on a server with friends and stuff, this will be useful, because if you set someone to an ally, the Stegonaut will provide the passive radius buff of the absorption and resistance to the ally, and I believe also to their tamed creatures. So it's definitely very important, I will say, if you're playing with people, to do that, because maybe you can be a support in the backline or something. So yeah, that's the Stegonaut, and just like all the creatures, if you ship right-click, you can tell this guy to wander, follow, sit, all that fun jazz. Alright, but let's move on to the next creature. Alright, so the next creature that I would say is beginner-friendly for you to tame is the Cindervane, and this probably be the one I would probably see a lot of you go out to tame, because this is a flying creature. So here this guy is. Now I'm going to hurry up and tame him. It's just like the Stegonaut, it's a passive feed. So we're just going to feed him. Now he might take more than one, or quite a few. So that guy take 2, so that is nice. As you see, also that's one thing that Dragon Hardy Meals can do. When you feed a dragon, it provides regeneration too. So this right here is actually albino. We got a male, which is really cool. So normally these guys would be like a lot more like gray and orange with their colors. We got an albino one, which is pretty cool. Now, what does this guy do? Well, obviously, he's a flying creature. So when we right click on him, and we're going to go F5 mode and hold space, here we go. We are now soaring through the skies. Look at this. This is so cool. So these guys are definitely really good for mobility, I would definitely say. But that does not mean these guys will pack a punch with their abilities. Now, the Cindervane, when it comes to its bite and stuff, is not where it shines. It's definitely, I would say, stronger than, oh boy, that was a little bit lag here. It's definitely stronger, I would say, than the Stegonaut. At least, do you have an alternate bite attack? You do. That's something I did not know. So we'll buy. So definitely way stronger and stuff. Which, and now we will set the secondary melee bite. I should just probably get a spawn egg of horses. We'll do that real quick. Just get some more horses, just so we can just demonstrate more. Man, remember, fellas, we do not condone violence towards horses on this channel. We're just doing this for show and tell. So we're gonna put down another horse. Sorry, buddy. All right, and then we're gonna do a bite. And that's how you do its like side swipe attack, which definitely a lot more useful for like knockback and stuff. But if you want its main bite, go for the primary attack. But yeah, but that is not where it shines. Where it does shine though is its H and G ability. So its H ability is how you activate its fire breath. So we're just gonna press in. Oopsies, that was bad showing. But it's a little hard to use sometimes. So we just shoots up to like 9 blocks of magma and ignites stuff pretty much. And as you saw, that cow just got incinerated. Does definitely do a lot of damage, I would say. Wish we had something a little big to show, but yeah, that is that ability. Also, I don't think its attacks are different. Oh, its attacks can alternate in the sky. I thought it would be a little bit different, but yeah. So, that's its H ability. Now, its G ability is what I would say is more of a risky ability. And it's something you want to do if you are trying to just cause some destruction. So what it is we're going to hold G. As you can see, we are building up. Now, if we go look straight down and just go boom, we will create a big explosion right now, which does end up hurting your Cindervane. So, I would not recommend to do this unless you feel like you can easily do that and just get away with it. I believe you have to be aiming down. I don't think you can collide with an entity to use this. You have to, like, pretty much dive bomb down. And it does take a chunk of your HP, so be definitely careful whenever you use this ability. Now, last but not least about this guy, which should probably be obvious, since it is like a fire-like dragon, is that he is immune to all forms of fire damage. So he will be immune to lava if you put him in it. I guess I should have grabbed a bucket to quickly show that, but you know, I'll just quickly show that yeah, this guy's immune to lava attacks. So definitely, hey, maybe if you want to take this guy to the Nether, you can. So we're just gonna put it on. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't make you immune to lava, but yeah, this, I mean, kind of is not really swimming in it. We can just, but there we go. We're a lot more in it, but yeah. So I'm the only one catching on fire, but our Cindervane, he is pretty chill. Although if he is in the lava, he can't really fly up. So if you end up getting somehow trapped inside of the Nether, like lava pools or whatever, and you don't have like any like fire resistance, you might be a little bit screwed. But we're gonna first heal him up because he's definitely a little bit unhappy right now. So we'll do that. And actually, if his happiness is low, we can actually show what he drops when you try. Oh no, okay. I thought that would make him unhappy, so we'll just. I'm sorry, buddy. Hitbox is a little weird. It's not really right here at all where the neck's at. You have to hit the body, or that's where his hitbox is at. So he's a little bit mad at me, which is okay, because now when you brush him, the only thing he will drop is his scales, which... Wow, I'm surprised I've not gotten any from you. Oh, there we go. So the Cindervane scales, which we will showcase what that does later. But for now, we are going to show off the next beast. Right, so the next dragon we have is the Nulljaw, and my personal favorite from this mod. So let's place this boy down. This guy is a big, scaly boy. He's also the other non-flying dragon that is in this mod. But don't that determine you. This guy is definitely a menace if you're able to tame him. Alright, but how do you tame this guy? Well, it's simple. You gotta just right click on him. He's gonna throw a fit. And he's gonna try to throw me off. A little laggy here trying to do it. But yeah, he roars at me, but don't worry, he does not go aggro onto you when you try to do this, only if you punch him. And I would recommend you get some Feather Folly boots for this guy, because you're definitely going to take quite a bit of damage, or maybe have some stuff to heal yourself. And this will take a couple of attempts. Maybe it'll take you 1, 2, 3, maybe a crap ton. Take a little bit of damage here, so we'll get you 1 apple, maybe to try to avoid taking too much damage. There we go! Took maybe 6, maybe even 7 attempts to tame this guy, but look at this beast. A little glitchy with the head. I wonder if that's just maybe because we were trying to tame him. Yeah, it looks like that's what it was. So, this guy is the only aquatic dragon that you can tame here, which he may not seem aquatic, but once we go in the water, we zoom, as you can tell. This guy is definitely a very fast creature in the water, so definitely if you want a very fast mobile creature in the water, this is the guy for you. So let's go up, oh, there's a creeper here. Which this guy is strong, as you can already tell, 250 HP. Very already a strong beast to have. So, this guy's bite just does a lot of damage, pretty much. Just a lot. Oh, and the creeper despawned. That's unfortunate. But, yeah, this guy... Oopsies. I did not mean to place down. Which is okay, we'll come back to you later. Where's my horse eggs? Am I throwing them? Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, this attack can one-shot a lot of the creatures in Minecraft. Even stuff like Endermen. So we gotta go back in creative, I suppose. And I guess we should get Enderman spawn eggs to show how strong some of these things are. Alright. Now let's go back into survival. Place down an Enderman right here. And boom. One shot. So these guys are strong. So let's switch to his other attack. Alright, now we're just gonna... It's more of a knock-up attack, so it doesn't deal much damage. But you can still kill quite a bit with it. Which, I'll just go for its primary attack. Oops, okay, so we did actually perform one of its other attacks. So, if you double press the... If you press the W key 2 times, you'll do like a pretty much like a dash attack. So that's that. But, this creature is actually a stance swapping creature. So, how he swaps stances, you press H. This guy goes from a bipedal to a quadrupedal creature, or quadrupedal creature to a bipedal. With a cool roar, letting you all know that, oh yeah, this guy is ready. So, and pretty much his attacks are similar, but also a bit different. So, pretty much if you press W again, pretty much the same thing, but you do a cool lunge attack. Now his other ability is that whenever you're on your bipedal stance, you press G, you do a claw attack which breaks blocks. So hey, if you want some areas to be a little bit flattened out for building, or you just need a crap ton of maybe dirt, sand, or whatever, this is how you do it. This guy definitely does it really well. I mean, it was only a few seconds that I cleared out this area, and if I didn't have some good tools, it took longer. And we go back on the stance. This is still a tail whip attack, which applies a heavy knockback, I believe. Let's test out with the Mr. Enderman here. I believe it's just all it is just a really heavy knockback. Oh, not as heavy as I thought. But yeah. One last thing about this guy when it comes to terms of abilities. As you can see, I have water breathing for 10 seconds when riding on this guy. So hey, There we go. Whenever it comes to exploring the oceans of your Minecraft world, this guy will do it really well for you. Although sometimes what I have experienced is whenever I am trying to get back to him, he will swim away. It might be just a little glitch with the AI, so yeah, that is that. That is how the Nulljaw is. And whenever you do brush him, you get Nulljaw scales, which I will show what you do later on with. Alright, right here is the guy that I accidentally spawned, which is the Raevyx, which is either, you can argue, be the strongest or second strongest creature in this mod. It really depends on when you use your abilities and stuff with this guy. But this guy, as you can tell, is sleeping, and that is because this is a nocturnal creature. This guy will be flying around at night, and in daytime he's just a sleepy little guy. Now the Raevyx is unfortunately where we kind of need our armor and stuff. However, I did found a loophole, which I don't know by the time this video is uploaded if maybe they will eventually patch this, since this mod is still currently in alpha stage. So we'll see. So here's an easy way to tame the Raevyx without having to super gear up. So what I did is that I put down a fence and I would attach him to a lead. So whenever I do this, he will actually not be able to attack me, because these guys can't break leads if they're flying, but if they're like in the sleepy mode, or if it's nighttime, or in this case daytime for the Raevyx, then well, it's gonna be a lot more simpler of a tame. So, how do you tame this guy? Well, we gotta beat him up. So, I have a bow and arrow with infinity and power 5. So we have to get this guy to 60 HP, which is 1/3, and we will definitely know when we're at it, so you don't need a mod technically to be able to know his HP. He'll be in a weakened state, and that's when we'll be able to beat him and have a chance to tame him. So, as we can see, I am shooting this guy. Normally, he would be trying to murder me right now, but because he's on that lead and stuff, it just makes things a lot more easier. So I see that's his weakened state, because he's just, and you will also get a little notification thing that he is below 60 HP or 60 HP or lower. So we just right click and feed him. So we can just walk away a little bit, and then we just can continue the process. This will probably take you a couple of tries to try to tame him, and I would definitely recommend use the Hardy Dragon meals, because they have a better chance to tame him. So let's see here. Yep, he seems willing to try again. Oh, there we go. We have this guy all tamed up. So we're also got to feed him a couple of these meals to just get him healed up. Now this guy is really cool, because not only is a nocturnal creature, and also his design is probably my second favorite. I really love the Nulljaw's design, but I could be just a simp for that beast. So this guy is all about lightning. This thing is the lightning menace. So you also may notice at the bottom of this guy's health bar, which if you don't like the health bars or the icon things for some reason, you can press F4 to remove them, but I would not recommend for this creature specifically, because you won't be able to know how much charge you have. So this thing, whenever we hold G, we zoom in and stuff, and we fire a powerful beam attack. This thing shreds. When I mean it shreds, it does a lot of damage. So, and you see it slowly charges up. We can use it at any point, but you know, obviously you might want to wait to be able to have full charge to just deal a lot of damage. And you know, obviously since this thing has wings, this thing flies. Definitely very good. Very good. Oh, we can actually test out how powerful a beam is on the Stegonauts. Yeah, let's try that. I'm not sure how strong this thing really is, but you know, might as well give it a test. Oh wow, it can pierce through things. Oh my lord. That thing just demolished them. And remember, these things have like 100 HP. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll move on to our secondary melee. Which, don't feel like it does that much damage. Definitely not a creature all about its melee, I would say, with this thing. I mean, it does deal decent damage, but it's not what you want or what you're looking for. Now, this thing also has kind of similar movement to the Nulljaw. So if you do anything with the key, so if I'm double pressing A, does like a dodge thing. That's a little bit of a cooldown, but it does have a dash forward attack. So if we do that, which I believe it's the same no matter... Yeah, it's like the same pretty much no matter what stance you are, or like primary or second melee attack. Now, what is really cool about this guy is its weather ability. So pretty much what I mean by that is whenever we press the H key, we call upon a storm. And when we call upon the storm, thunder will pretty much happen. And as you see, our stats have doubled. So we have now 360 HP. Now this storm and stats will last for a total of 1 minute. So definitely use it whenever you're about to go all out. And then we can just go. Yeah, I love this thing. So, yeah, like I said, if you want to go all out on something, use this ability. However, it has a 5-minute cooldown, so definitely really use it wisely. I'm going to try to demolish all these Stegonauts right here. Now, actually, we do need to get something because we have one more ability. Now, since we have some of these Stegonauts after us, if we use our roar... Uh-oh. Oh. A little shader lag right there. So now we have some stuff after us. If we press R, which is a normal... Oh. Ooh, okay, wait, I just realized the reason why that's happening is because of... you know, I gotta change this real quick because I didn't realize that keybinds for shaders and stuff are shared with the roar toggle. Let me change that. Okay, so we got that quickly fixed. So now we're just gonna get these guys on our attention. Because of that, now we're use roar, which if there's any creatures aggroed onto you, he'll get struck by lightning. Oh my god, goodness. So, definitely a good little crowd control kind of ability right there. Unfortunately, we're not immune to the fire, which I get it, but seems a little silly. But yeah, that is pretty much what this guy got going on. Alright, so the last dragon we'll be taming is the Ingivorus. I don't know if that's how you say it right. Out of all the dragon's names, I don't think that's the one I'm saying right. This is the big boy. Pretty much the biggest dragons. Oh, look, we found some wild Cindervane eggs or Cindervane eggs. So, you know, if we wanted to tame one, we could. Or steal the egg, we could have. But this is the big boys. So, we're just gonna... First of all, we have some very rude guests. There we go. Alright, so, this right here, big monster right now. Now, it looks like he's got to go to sleep, which is good. Because if you try to tame these guys in the daytime, they're just going to fly away. Now, I don't know this works. I have never tested on this guy before. So this is the first time for me too, about trying to use the fence method, which if you can, very handy. So we're just going to leave this guy right here. That looks so silly. Oh look, we got baby Cindervanes. Oh, that's so cute. Alright, what's gotta be not so cute is what may happen here in a second. Let's see if this works. Oh my god, it works. That is crazy. I did not think this would work. Now, someone may eventually see this from the dev team or the developer of Saints Dragons, which... Oh, we got him low. And they may see, and they're like, hey, this is not supposed to how this go. Oh, God. Buddy. Hey, Mr. Skeleton, I don't know what about you, buddy, but we gotta, like... I got a bigger thing to deal with right now. Alright, so this is good. Cute. But yeah, this is, I guess, a way you can do it to make it easier, because, doing this, Normally, it would be really hard. Where are you? Alright, buddy. You chill? Yeah, this guy might take a lot of feeds. So, be very wary and recommend to do this at night, at least with the current alpha version that's out. But like I said, this could eventually get patched out because I would assume this is not what the mod developer intended. Which I'm more surprised this is working. Because this thing can break blocks. So the fact that it's not is surprising, which I don't know. It's crazy. Also, if you're wondering, because I probably did not say it at all, this guy's be at 100 HP or lower. It's pretty much the same method as the Raevyx. Alright, now that it is nighttime, let's change it to day so we're not getting swollen by freaking mobs everywhere. There we go. Alright, let's also feed this guy up because he deserves it. You did a good boy. Although your hitboxing for where you're at is a little bit wonky or a little bit weird. I'm trying to find where I put the fence post. There it is. Hey. Hey, buddy. Okay, so you're right here. Okay. Oh my lord. This dude's freaking out a little bit. But yeah, this is the big boy, which, compared to all the other dragons, yeah, he's a big boy. So this is his attack, which actually immediately sets everything on fire. And also I love that hand, like the head animation. It's really cool. So we're going to this attack, which is a big body slam. So definitely good for AoE clear. Yeah, holy crap. And as you see, just like the Raevyx, this guy does have a breath attack. Which, is it G? Yeah. Oh my lord. Holy crap. That is really cool. Oh my lord. This thing's a beast. Now we do also have to get this thing at full HP. For one, its abilities requires it to be at full HP. And this thing, I tell you what, has abilities. It ain't just your big freaking fire dragon. This thing has a lot going on with it, especially when it comes to pure destruction. So, I probably even have to have the wiki thing pulled up because I feel like I wouldn't be able to tell you everything in one easy sitting. So, let's do that. Alright, so let's start with this R ability, which when pressed, I believe we have to, I don't know if we have to hold it or just press it. We summon like, that was not a good way to show it. This is probably not the best way to do it. We should go, yeah. But let's do that again. So we summoned up to like 9 pillars of like magma. What is fighting me? What is hitting me? Oh, there's a Stegonaut right there. Are you telling me I can't do that? Oh wow, I guess we have to swap to the body slam attack. Because I can't get him. Okay. But yeah, that is the like a pillar ability when we press R. Now, if we hold R, something more different happens. We gotta first slow that. We charge up a freaking magma thing and fire. And yeah, another kaboom. So yeah, you gotta just hold R, and I guess depending on what level you let go on is depending on the destruction and damage. Yeah, that thing, that would hurt. Alright, so we have one, unfortunately we took damage, so we have to land and then feed this guy real quick. There we go. And now we have what is called a supernova ability. So we have to be a full HP to do this, because this guy will weaken, so I believe we have to press H. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like all the mobs nearby will just pretty much nearly die or take so much damage that they'll be pretty much dead. Does a lot of damage, but as you can see, it leaves your guy really weakened. So I would definitely recommend have a good stash of Hardy Dragon meals on you when you want to perform this ability. And you will not perform it if he is at lower than max HP. So be wary of that. So he does also have different states we can activate whenever we are walking with this guy. So let's go back on him. If we, let me just double check, double press W, we'll enter bulldozing state, which I think you assume what that means. Yeah, we just kind of clear through some stuff a bit. Although it's not as good as I thought it would be. Yeah, like you can go through it. It definitely helps you move around, but it's not the greatest. Okay. We're in a different state now when we double. Oh! I did not know about this thing, to be honest. So if you double press S, you enter. Oh! Oh! So if you. So you can change your attacks and stuff. If you double press S, do like a wing flap. Which I don't know how much damage that does, but if you double press press W 2 times with this, do like a big fucking like hop. Ooh. Whee! Bunny hop. Bunny hop. That's actually kind of fun. Alright. And I do think that's all with this guy, I believe. I could be wrong, because this thing does have a lot of abilities. If you want to escape it, you gotta press S. So, double press S. So, yeah. That is all of the creatures that you can tame with this mod. But we still have some more items to go through. So, why not we go through them right now? Now you may be wondering to yourself, how do I keep a hold of these dragons? Because I have so many of them, and I don't have space for them, or they're causing lag by having much of them. Well, look no further than the dragon binders. Now, these binders will pretty much act like a Pokeball, pretty much. So, right here, this is the Stegonaut one, and you need 4 Stegonaut scales for iron ingots, 1 amethyst, so really cheap and easy to make. This is for the Cindervane, which you need 6 of the stone bricks and 1 Cindervane scale. Next, we have the Nulljaw one, which is a little bit tougher-ish, at least for me, which is 3 lapis, nautilus shells, which I cannot find these things for the life of me when I need them, which is really annoying, in 1 Nulljaw scale. Next, right here, which is the Raevyx, a lot more expensive, as you can already tell, which requires 1 Raevyx scale, 4 netherite ingots, and 4 pieces of deep slate. And probably the one that's going to be a lot more tougher to get, which is the binder for the Ingivorus, which is 2 of its teeth, which you can only get when it takes damage. It has a chance to drop its teeth, which you may have already saw me collected whenever I was taming that one, so that's how you get it. 3 netherite ingots, 2 of its scales, and its heart, which I can only find out by only getting it by killing one, so I'm not sure how you would approach to try to get one. I would probably maybe recommend try to get at least 2 of them, a male and female, and breed, and maybe have a farm of those guys, potentially. I'm not 100% sure. That's what I would personally recommend to do. Now, there are still some more items you can use these scales and stuff for, which is this. You can make the Potion of Tide Guard, which all it requires is 1 Nulljaw scale. Whenever we put it in here, it'll start creating the potion, but I'm not gonna show you, wait for that. So whenever I drink this potion, it will provide me about a minute, water breathing, and Dolphin's Grace, which is pretty good, at least I would personally say. Pretty good overall potion effect. It doesn't last that long. I don't think we can put redstone on it, or I didn't test to see if we can put redstone on it. Hang on, let me double check here, because I mean it would be really nice if we could, but I don't think we could to up the duration. Can we put redstone in here? No, it does not look like it. So these potions are set to whatever they are. I mean, I kind of figured, but yeah. But the more stronger potion you can make is the potion of Searing. Now, this is only made using a tooth of the Ingivorus. And we're going to put that in here. This is a really strong potion, so whenever we drink it, we are given fire resistance for 8 minutes and strength 3 for 8 minutes. A really powerful combo indeed. Definitely maybe something you want to have whenever you're going to the nether. Maybe if you want to try to farm like wither skeletons or their skulls, we have looting or just any nether adventure or anything related to fire. Maybe you want one of these to try to tame Ingivorus if you don't do the whole strat thing that I did. You want to be, you know, not a coward about it. Alright, so the last thing I do want to showcase with this mod before we wrap things up are the gender differences and variants of these dragons. There's not a lot of variants, only, I believe, 3 variants of, just 3 different variants in total in general of this mod, but definitely I would imagine more would be planned later on. So let's just start off with the Stegonaut. So this right here is a female, this right here is a male. We should probably put some of these binders fully away. As you can tell, pretty easy to spot the difference, first of all, with these guys, and which you'll definitely notice a lot of pattern with the male and female, is that the males have a lot more spikes and stuff. You can tell with the head, they still have more like plates and stuff on their back. The females have flowers, which is very nice and pretty. The males also, I believe, yeah, they have like more like, looks like armor or like mud or stuff on its feet. So definitely easy to spot the difference. I'm only mentioning this entire thing about male and female just in case if you want to start breeding these guys, which if you do want to breed them, should probably grab some fish. The only way to do so is to give them fish. Or even, I think you can also feed the hardy dragon meals, but, you know, I would just save those for whenever you need to heal or try to use them for taming. So, pretty much what we gotta do is make sure these guys are not sitting, which I believe they are. We'll set these guys to follow me. And then we have to shift right click. That's important. Shift right click. And then these two will start doing their thing. And I see an egg has been born, and that will work for all of the dragons pretty much. Now, some of them will take different stuff. Like, I believe the Nulljaw, you can feed it tropical fish, while most of the dragons will only take like cod or salmon. So I use for that, which is good. Alright, so let's go on to the Cindervane. So we'll do the male and female. So right here, this is the regular male, and this is the female. Now, you can already tell the male has curved wings pretty much, and is a lot more of a brighter orange, and the female is more like a hot pink or whatever color, which both of these still look good. I think those are like the main gender differences, unless there's something with the wings, which I don't think there is, but I could be wrong. But yeah, definitely really easier to tell with these guys because you just gotta know what color. Oh, female is more of a hot pink and male is more orange if you just can't see the orange for whatever reason. So yeah, pretty simple to tell the difference between those two. So let's put these fellas back, and now we have the albino male and albino female. Let's also change it to daytime real quick. Perfect. Alright, so kind of the same thing, although it's kind of swapped a little bit, I would say. Or, I don't know. Never mind, no, it definitely is. The male is a lot more of a light blue, and the female is more of a deeper blue with its color. More teal than the male, I should say. And, well, the female is kind of like a bluish purple, I would say. At least that's what I would call it, pretty much. So, yeah. Definitely also a good difference to tell. I do like that these guys make them look like they're like a frost variant or whatever. Although the only somewhat criticism I would say for them being called albinos, these guys happen to spawn a lot more frequent. A little bit more than the actual normal variant, I would say. So, definitely just the only little complaint I have, but yeah, those are the albino variants. Alright, these are the only versions of the Nulljaws, which are the regular variants. Just like the Stegonaut, these guys do not have any variants, which is unfortunate, because now I'm realizing all the variants belong to the flying creatures, and nothing for our good old four-legged creatures, pretty much. But yeah, like I said earlier, the easier way to tell the male and female from apart is that this male guy has a lot more spikes and horns going on than the female. The colors are pretty much the same, I think. I can't really tell because of the shaders a little bit with the shadows. But yeah, their colors look exactly the same. So pretty much if one of them does not have like horns sticking out, that is a female. If it does, it's a male. And if it's just less spiky overall, then it's a female. So still pretty decently able to tell the difference between these guys. Alright, next are the Raevyxes, which also, again, I mean, I feel bad repeating, is an easy way to tell is that, well, the female is less spiky than the male, because as you can tell, he has a lot more interesting noise. The male has a lot more spikes going on around its face than the female, but also the wings, because the female does not have a lot going on with its wing color, but the male definitely has a lot more when it comes to its wings, which definitely makes sense. I mean, some creatures in the real world, especially males, have to look a lot more flashier for the doll-looking female, for they need to try to get their attention to reproduce, which, yeah, so that's the easy way you can tell the difference. Now, here is the Gold Knight variant of the Raevyx, which, oh, hello, little buddy. Are you mine? You are. There you go. Baby models in here are so cute. Look how droopy that little guy is. But yeah, so this is the definitely my favorite, like I said, of the Raevyx's model, or just variant overall. The black and gold, I mean, come on, black and gold just looks so good. The male especially looks really good. I mean, the female looks good, but look at the male though. It just looks so good. This thing is amazing. And fun fact, which I don't think applies that much towards the other creatures, or all the other variants, at least I don't think it does, but this guy's breath is actually golden. Like, look at that. It's a lot more golden with it, which is a very good plus for me. At least I would say. Love that. So, yeah, those are those variants. Alright, and here is the variants of the male and female Ingivorus. Now, this is probably the only time I have to go in creative and be able to showcase, which definitely can make it a little bit clear in a way that the male is a lot more of a darker color, as you can tell, and it's pretty much mostly black with a little bit of gray of the wings, and the female is more of a lighter gray with a little bit like a purple going on with it, which definitely looks nice. That's definitely a way you can tell. Also, with the horns, this guy has like an extra set of horns, I believe. Yeah, he has like about 6 horns in total onto him, and so does the female. The female also does not have any back spikes like this guy does around his back and neck, so that is a easier way to tell the gender difference between these guys. Alright, and here are the gender differences of the Crimson variants. Now, I believe this is the one I tamed earlier. Also, let's just change it to day real quick, because it looks like it's might ruin a little bit of some shading. But yeah, these are the male and female variants, which are very similar, I would say. Maybe the male is a little bit of a darker red, but I can barely tell. The most noticeable thing is the wings. So the male has more like a volcanic color with it, like a orange and black with it. The female's wings are pretty similar to its default one. I think it's maybe just reverse the colors, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they're definitely pretty similar, but not like a complete copy and paste. At least I wouldn't say it is, but I would definitely say it could be a little bit harder to identify the male and female variants if you're not paying attention to the wings specifically, since the horns pretty much look identical, although there is the whole one extra set in. If this thing's flying, you're not going to see his back spikes, so. definitely pay attention to the wings if you're looking for a specific variant of this guy. Alright, but that is Saints Dragons, a mod that I definitely have come to love recently, and I hope you consider giving it a try. But yeah, that'll wrap today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. And if you're new at all to the channel, hitting that subscribe button will always be appreciated. And if there are any more mods that you want me to showcase, I will be willing to give them a little bit of a showcase. I do have other mods that I might consider doing a showcase of, so maybe we'll do that in the future. But with that, I'm going to wrap up today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, and have a good one.